Hi viewers, today we will discuss some data analytics. For example, if you need to analyze the activities implementation, if you are tracking performance of activities, so how we can do that in a better way using data analytics, data interpretation, and different techniques to analyze the activities implementation or tracking performance. I will also be sharing with you some other details, some other examples. This one is the first example that how we can track our project's implementation, whether we are on track or whether we are behind the target and all this. So basically what I want through this session to share with you how you can use the data to inform decision making for different examples. So I will be sharing different examples today. For example, what is data analytics and data analysis? Why we do that? Basically, data analytics is the systematic analysis of data or statistic for the discovery, interpretation, and communication of meaningful results, pattern, trends, and data towards effective decision making. Why we use the data analytics? Just for effective decision making, for future programming, for inform our management, to discover different trends in our data, to obtain meaningful results from the data. And in this session I will share different examples of data analytics from simple to advanced level, to explore data, interpret data, identify meaningful pattern for effective decision making. So let's start from a basic example. Our first example is, for example, we have a question, analysis of activities implementation, tracking performance. Your management asks you, what is the implementation status? Track the performance of activities and tell us. Or they can ask you, estimate the completion date of a milestone. For example, if we are implementing some activities, what do you think? These activities will be completed by which specific date or month, and how you are going to do that based on the available data. So if the question is just to track performance implementation, or if the question is to estimate the completion date of a milestone or a task or an activity based on the current pace or the current speed, if there is a question that if we go with a specific speed of that current time, when can we complete a task or achieve a milestone? To respond to such type of questions, you have to do analysis like this. So let's you see, this is a simple sheet developed for the tracking performance of different activities. For example, you have different types of activities. So you would have a start date, an estimated end date, a target, how much you have achieved so far, so that you would collect. Up to this column you have already the data available, what is the start date, end date, and what is the target, and what has been achieved so far. Okay, now you have to calculate these areas. Number one, person achievement so far. What is the person achievement so far? What is the remaining target? Current date, simple today, for example, per day or per month or per week, how much we needed that. So you have to explore all these questions now. From these four columns, it's enough for you. You can obtain all this information from these four columns. Current date, per day required, per day actual. What is the per day actual, or per month or per week actual? Completion at this speed. If we are going at this speed, when we would be able to complete this specific task, and what is the status, whether it's going downwards, upwards, behind the target, on track. So all this information you can obtain from these four columns. You can also develop some charts, some graphs based on your data to show whether you are going on track or behind the track, and that can be visualized from this available data. So how you can do that? I just want to share with you some easy and simple tips and tricks in which you can do the data analysis very easy. This is our activities implementation tracker. Now here we have written all the activities, what was the start date, what is the expected end date that was already decided, what is the total target, what has been achieved so far. You have this information available. Now, person achievement, that's very simple. as you already know, is equal to how much has been achieved so far divided by what was the target. So this is simple. You already know that. And here you just need to apply the percent from this step, or you can do that by closing this division in the bracket and multiply with 100. So that's also okay, but then you will have to remove this if you are multiplying it with 100, so then you do not need that percent format. Now, for example, if I want to do that like that way, so I just divided these two and applied the percent format. You can do this from here, or you can just right click, go to format cell, and come here and in the number format, go to percent. And here, if you want decimal, so apply, otherwise just type 0. Okay, now just drag it below. So this is your percent. Now, most of the people just close their analysis with this, but this is not giving you any information. It's giving you that 33% you have achieved this activity, 24% this activity, 60%. But is it okay? Is it right? Whether I needed this 33% by today? For example, if I am analyzing this data by today, and today is the today date formula is simple, is equal to today small bracket start and end. So this is the formula for obtaining the date of today. So now you should write this on the top just to see that. And for example, if then you are opening this file tomorrow, so this date would already be have been changed, and all this analysis would be based on this date at that time. So whether this 33% is actually according to the target or not, that you should identify. Now, for example, your target is this, and start date and end date you have. So you can divide this target by these days and then calculate the number of days which have been elapsed so far and divide that, and then you can compare it. For example, this was achieved so far. Now, what was the required achievement? So what was the percent required achievement so far? If you want to obtain that, so you can obtain from here also. How? Here I just shared with you in my previous sessions also to how to combine different formula. Now if you want to obtain this percent required achievement so far from this data, so you need one column here. What? Per day target. What was the per day target? First you need what were the target days, total target days for this activity. So days. How you are going to obtain that? End date minus start date. Why it's showing this percentage in 8800? Because I added a column besides this column, and when you add a column, by default gets the data format from the previous column. So here you need again to go to that number formatting and change it to general, or right click, go to format cell and change it to general or number format. So now these were the total days for this task. Okay, total days for this task were these. Now, how many days have passed so far? You need another column. I will do that in one column, but I'm just showing you. Days, these were the target days. Now, days elapsed. How many days passed since the activities implementation have been started? Very simple. You just need this today minus the start date. So 33 days. Or you can do it like this also, combining two formula. First, in small bracket, type today, small bracket start, small bracket end. This is the one formula for today. Minus start date. Close it. Here also it changing it to the date format because I have written a date. So I can go there and apply the general format. So 33 days have been passed so far. Now, after that, target days and days elapsed you have. Percent required achievement, what you need. Now, in 88 days, your target, this target was specified for 88 days. So what is the per day target? Per day target is simple now. Target divided by days. What was the total target and what are the target days divided by that? So this was the per day target 1136. This was the per day target. Now let's see here. Per day target was this multiply by days elapsed so far. So far you should have achieved 37,500 while your achievement is 33,000. So you are behind the target. Now how you can do all these in just one column? Percent required achievement so far. What is that? Percent you are obtaining percent. So this divided by the total target. Now this should have been your percent achievement. 38% was the required percent achievement as of today. And while here you see your achievement so far is 33%, while the required one was 38%. So how you can calculate these four columns in just one column? And that is this column, percent required achievement so far. It is very simple. Now let's do it slowly, okay? Percent, I am going to combine now the first two formulas, days, target, okay? So here, the per day target, I want this per day target from these three formulas, per day target. What is the per day target? This target divided by small bracket end date minus start date. So you have combined two formulas. In first, you are dividing the total target by number of days, and number of days you are obtaining from end date minus start date. So here you see you have got this one here. This is the per day target. Now close this whole, these two formulas in small bracket. This is the per day target. Now divide it. Here you obtained just the per day required number. Now how many number of days have passed? So you have to multiply that with that. So close this in the bracket, multiply and start another bracket. Now how many days have passed so far? Simple. Today, this is the today formula. It must be closed in this bracket, okay? This is the today formula. And what I am multiplying it with the number of days fast. So today minus start date and close the break. Now here I will just need to change it to the number format or general. So this was now you have achieved this number also in the same column with 1, 2, 3 formulas you applied. Here was the required, this column was required achieved so far. So you have obtained this one, and this one in just one column. Now what you need? You need the percent requirement. Okay. So close this whole formula again, all these formulas in small bracket and divide that by the total target. Here you will see now I will change it to percent. So you see 38. Here was the percent required. This was the percent required which you obtained and you by combining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 formulas in just one cell. And this is that formula. So you do not need these 5 columns now. I hope you got this. For example, if this is the percent achievement, but whether it is according to the target. So for that you need to obtain what is the percent required achievement so far. This is the actual one. But what was the requirement, the percent requirement so far? So for that obtaining that you needed the total days, or if you have only months, so you needed the whole number of months, that how many months elapsed or passed. Here we have days, so we are doing with days. If you have months, so months, quarter, etc. So this was the past. Then what was the per day target? Then required achievement so far. So how you did that? Total days you obtained from the start date and end date. Days elapsed you obtained from the today date minus start date. Or if you are doing it by some other day, by the end of a month date, so you write that date here and do it with that date. So here you obtain the number of days passed so far. And here per day target. What was the per day target? So simply the total target divided by the number of days that were specified for this activity. So this is the per day target. Now required achieved so far. So you multiplied the per day target with the number of days already passed. And then you divided that number by total target, so you obtained the percent required achievement so far, and this is the actual. So now if you see, we did all these formulas in just one cell and we obtained the same information. And now here we can compare that the required percent achievement as of now was 38%, while here we are at 33, so we're behind the target. Now just drag it below to this into this. Now here you see, your required percent achievement as of now was 22% and you are at 24, so you are good, you are on track. And here your achievement is 60% while the requirement was only 22%, so you are here also much more ahead of the target. So you can identify these trends with these formulas that whether I am on track or not. Percent achieved so far we have already obtained that. Okay, now what is the remaining target? Just obtain that from the target minus achieved so far. Now you can type this current date here in all columns, or you can just type it just one time and keep that there. But if you want that for each activity, there might be different calculations, so you can write it against each activity. Now per day required. We have already done that here in this formula, but here we need it just to simplify our analysis. For per day required, what was the per day required? Simple, the total target divided by end date minus start date, or the number of days, total number of days. Here total target number, I am dividing it by number of days, and number of days I am obtaining from the end date minus start date. So that per day actual, what is the per day actual? So here you have the achievement. Now here per day required, so you were dividing the target by start and end date minus. Now per day actual, so you will divide the achievement, this column, the achievement column, divided by, now you need the current date minus start date because the achievement is up till now. So 1000. The requirement is 1136. So here I am doing per day 1000 while the requirement is 1136. So I am behind. Here my target is 600 actual while target is 556. So I am good. Here my target per day is 22 while I am doing 60. So I am good. Now completion at this speed. This is my end date, the target one. Okay, now what might be the completion, the completion date if I am going with this speed, with this actual speed? So when I can complete this activity? For that, simply you need is equal to, so now here in small bracket, first you need to completion at this speed. So target minus achieved, first you need to obtain target minus achieved so far, the remaining, I mean the remaining target, or you can just do it from this column also. You already have a remaining column because you are calculating it against the remaining target only. The already achieved one is already done, so you can do it from this remaining column, or you can just do it if you don't have this remaining column, you do not want it, so you can do it target minus achieved so far. close that and the bracket. So let me do it simply with the remaining one. Remaining target divided by per day actual. So it would give you now number of days, that in how many days you can achieve this remaining target. This would give you just the number of days. Why I needed this column for this? Because this is the remaining target and this is what you are doing per day. So this will give you the number of days needed. 7 days. So what I need? I need that today is 3rd February 2022. So I need this to be added with this and it would give me a date. So what I need? Close this in the bracket, just combining two formulas, plus today, or if you have specified a specific date, so you can rank that date. Here it is not in the date format. That's why it's showing like that. So go to the format and apply the date. Here it says 11th April 2022 while your end date was 30th March. So it's going almost 10 days behind the target. And just drag it below. Now here you will see it shows the completion expected date 9th February 2022 while your target was 10th February. So you are good. You are completing it 1 day before the end date. But here you are completing it 11th April and here your date was 30th March. So you are ending this 11 days later than the end date. So you can drag it like that. It would give you the completion at this speed. The completion date at this speed. What I did, I divided the remaining by the per day actual and added that with today date so that I may obtain a date that in how many number of days. In simple ways, you can do this now in two columns also. In two columns, it would be completion days at this speed. How many days it will take more. So simply divide this remaining target by the per day actual you are doing and it would give you 67 days. In 67 days you will complete this. What is today? Today is 3rd February. So add 67 with 3rd. Just see this plus 67. So it would give you the date 11th April 2022. After the 3rd February 2022, you will take 67 days. So the date obviously would be 11th April 2022. So you can do this in two columns also. But if you want to save the space, so you can do it in just one column. First obtain the remaining by actual and then add it with the today or the date that you have specified. Just range that date and enter. No issue. Now status. Now here what text I need? I need a text that if formula I need just to show to the management that whether I am on track or behind. He or she can obtain this information from looking at the data, but it's very good if you visualize it more. How? It's very simple. Status. For example, if my completion date, if my completion date is lesser than the end date I decided, if this completion date is lesser than the end date I decided, so what you do, you apply this on track. If this completion date is before the end date I decided are equal to, you can say before that are equal to the date I decided, so I am on track. This is my first value of true, and if false, comma, what you do, behind the target. Otherwise, you just say behind the target. So here you see it says behind the target because my completion end date is 30th March. While it is at this speed, it's going to come to be completed on the 11th. So it's behind target. Now this was track, drag it like here. So these two are on track. Why? Because here you see already. Now here I need that symbol also to visualize it more. The icon sets that we discussed in previous sessions also. So here you need a formula which give you plus and minus figure. to show the trend. And how I can obtain that? Simply, this is my completion date. So I will just, this is my end date target. My target end date minus the completion at this speed end date. So it would give you it would give me a minus, a digit in the minus 12 days. I am behind 12 days. Here these two are in plus because I am on track. So I use these minus and plus figure just to because these icon sets identify the trend in the data. And now if I select just one cell, so it would analyze only that one cell. Now I have selected three cells, so it would automatically analyze the situation here. Those in minus would be in red categories and those in plus would be in green categories. You will see now. I am implying this just, you see, here it gives me that arrow down and here it gives me. You can further analyze it more, that if something is much more behind a target, simply behind the target, on track, very well on track, you can use all those also, and that we can do in another session. So here you just see the status. I just now want select this, go to conditional formatting, manage rules, double click and just say show icon only. Here just say show icon only. I don't want to see this figure. So here now you will see only the icons are visible, and just hit a close, select this table, go to the border format from here and remove this, the line between these two columns, just to show them as one column. You see now it is visible as one column. So now all this data is there, but if you have this column also, so someone can easily interpret it. Otherwise he would have to see that, okay, my remaining target is this was the required. He would need to compare these two columns and see that. So just at the end you need to add such a column just to visualize it in a better way. Okay, so this is how you can visualize your data and track performance of a project. You can use different ways, different techniques, much more advanced level also, but this was the simple idea. And I will make another session on other example. This was just example one. Now in the next session I will share some other examples of data analytics and data interpretation and visualization. If you visit my channel, so you will see the sessions on Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, Windows, online KOBO forms, Microsoft forms, Google forms, and many other sessions. So go there, watch all these tutorials, comment, like, and share with your friends and family members. And this session will continue. I am working on the next session and will upload soon.